Hey, what's up everybody? I'm going to try some freehand sharpening here and see if I can get this edge back to a serviceable quality. Right now it sort of cuts paper, but it doesn't do a very good job on it. You're basically sawing the paper. So I'm going to give it a try here and see what I can do. I've got this stone that I bought from Spyderco. It's sort of two different sides to it. You got like a medium grit here and an ultra fine, or I guess a fine grit. And then after that I'm going to take it onto the strop with some metal polish and see how I can do. So let's just give it a try here. I'll try not to screw it up too badly. I like to just do them in sort of sets of 10 or so, and then move back to the other side again. I'm honestly not even counting, I'm just kind of going by, feel more than anything. Okay, so let me give it a quick test here on like a piece of paper and just see if it's getting any better at all. It's definitely getting a little better. So let's try a little bit more of this, and then we'll switch over to the fine side. I know this stone is supposed to be flat, but I find it's helpful if I hold it at like a little bit of an angle there, just to be able to cleanly scrape the whole blade along it. So I'm definitely not an expert at freehand sharpening. This is actually my first day doing it, but I was able to get a very nice edge on this actually. What I did with this knife was I took it down to like a really bad edge. I just kind of dulled it quickly, and then I was able to get it back to basically shaving sharp. It did take me a while, better part of half an hour actually, from start to finish. But I was able to get it back to a decent edge. So let's switch back to paper here, see how it's doing. Alright, it's getting better. It's getting better, that's for sure. Maybe I'll just leave it on this side for maybe another minute or so, and then I'll switch over to the fine after that. I honestly think that very few people probably are able to hold a consistent angle when freehand sharpening. I think that the key probably is just sort of to be as consistent as you can, not let the blade fall off the stone awkwardly. You know, just sort of try to keep it as uniform as you possibly can. And that's the best you can do, really. If you can get a sharp edge back on there, you've done your job. Okay, so I'm gonna go now from the medium side over to the fine side, and hopefully get this a little bit closer to the you know, paper cutting sharpness. And then after that, we'll go to the strop and see how we can do with that. So that's 20 on the one side. Let's do 20 on the other side now. You can actually feel how much it grinds on the stone as you do it. And I'm assuming that as it gets sharper, you feel less of a grinding because there's less ragged edges going on there. You're smoothing it out on the stone. So I can definitely feel as I'm doing this, it's getting like a little smoother as I go, kind of thing. And hopefully that results in a sharper edge overall, which remains to be seen. Okay, let's try it on the paper, see what happens here. Okay, it's cutting paper. I think it's just a little awkward the way I'm doing it on the camera. But yeah, it's getting back to that serviceable edge where it's kind of going cleanly through the paper. The edge is looking a little less screwed up. So maybe I'll just do a couple more passes here and just try to get it a little better before I take it onto the strop and see what I can do with that. So that's 10. Let's do another 10. All right, maybe 10 more. I don't know, as you can see, I'm kind of mimicking the sharp maker sort of thing, you know. I'm moving the stone to get it in touch with the blade as well as I can. I find that if I sit it just on the edge of the desk there, I'm not able to fully run the blade along it. I kind of need it to be at an angle. So, you know, it's probably kind of dangerous to do this. I am running the blade somewhat close to my fingers. If I slip, then it's probably not going to be a good day. But so far, so good. Okay, so let's try it on the paper again. Hopefully it's a little better than it was before. Okay, you can see that it's going through the paper a little better now. It's definitely cutting it cleaner than it was before. It's still not perfect, definitely, but let's just try giving it a few more runs on the stone here. Maybe I'll just do it lightly, sort of circles or something like that, instead of scraping it. And also, you know, please don't take this as an instructional video. This is more me just experimenting with a new method and sort of doing it for my subscribers. You know, I'm sure there's much better people out there to learn freehand sharpening from than myself. In fact, I'm still learning it, and I haven't really watched any videos on this. I'm kind of just doing my best with it and seeing what kind of results I can achieve. I always think it's good to try things yourself, like before you sort of read the instruction manual or whatever you want to call it. Just give it a go. Don't use a super expensive knife. Don't put your, you know, Sabenza on here or whatever. But wouldn't it be cool if you were able to maintain a hair shaving edge on your Sabenza or whatever quality knife that you have with sort of a lower form of technology than, you know, the Edge Pro Apex or the Sharpmaker or whatever. So it's not a perfect edge. I'm sure that I could sit here sort of all night getting that to, you know, super sharp or, you know, some imitation of sharpness on there. So anyways, I'm going to put the stone away now, and I'm going to move over to the strop and sort of see if that can complete the process a little bit. So the strop here, you know, there's different kinds of strops for sure. You can spend a lot of money or whatever if you want to, but this is just like a piece of belt that's been cut off, so just a cheap leather belt. It's got sort of two sides to it here. I guess one is more smooth and one is more rough. It doesn't really matter what side you use, so I'll just choose one. The stuff that I'm using here, I'll show you the package afterwards so you can kind of get a better idea. But basically, it's a metal polish that you can buy, I guess, at any sort of hardware store. It says it's good for cleaning and polishing hard metals. Number 2, regular cleaning, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's some sort of a chart in the back here. So it's good for, it's a number 2, so it says it's good for regular cleaning of hard metals. Okay. So anyways, now the strop. So the strop is a lot more forgiving than sharpening, because the leather of the belt kind of molds to the blade of the knife. So if you've got like strange shaped blades, it's very easy to strop them. And I just do the same thing that I was doing with the stone. I kind of do about 10 strops per side. And I guess that the belt combined with the metal polish sort of helps you take the blade down to like a very super fine, super sharp level, and it can get a blade like really like shaving sharp if you have gotten it to the sharpest you can with the stones beforehand. If you've got a dull knife and you put it on the strop, you're not going to achieve very good results at all. It really needs to be like a nice edge, and then you put it on the strop and it makes it even nicer kind of thing. It's just sort of icing on the cake. The other thing that you can do is, if you have a knife that is reasonably sharp and you have used it that day to maybe do a few, you know, simple tasks, nothing, you know, hardcore, if you put it on the strop sort of like on a daily basis, I think you can maintain quite a nice edge actually. So strops, you can buy them online or wherever really, and I've looked into buying strops before, but I find that they cost like $50 or some like crazy amount of money, and I've just never done that. But this technique is sort of a good imitation of that, I would say, and you can do it for like really cheap too, like a few dollars. So I have a feeling that when I take this off the strop, it's going to be pretty nice edge. Okay, I won't make the suspense last any longer. We'll try it on the paper now. Pretty nice, pretty nice. It's cutting pretty well. So, you know, you can keep going, you know, but if you've gotten it to a point where it's cutting paper fairly cleanly, I think that you're doing a good job. You know, I'm sure that my edge is not perfection, and I will never say that it is, but it's at the point where it's cutting paper cleanly again, and it was tearing the paper in the beginning. So the edge that I have now is better than what I started with, and it may not be perfect, but I could keep going on the strop there. I could probably go back to the stones or whatever. You know, I guess you don't want to be bouncing around all over the place. You want to kind of maintain a sequence. But yeah, I've gotten a serviceable edge back on the blade, and I've done that with a very sort of like low form of technology. You know, the stones, I was able to put a nice edge on it. You can see it takes off a lot of metal. You can really see that on the white edge there, and if you rub it, it kind of goes on your finger too. So there's definitely metal coming off the blade. So you don't want to just like sharpen blades arbitrarily. Softer metals will sharpen easier and more readily than harder metals for sure. But this is a pretty cool stone. I gotta say, I really like that. You can clean it just by sort of scrubbing it with like a dishcloth and dish soap, and it has this sweet, you know, I guess this is like a suede case or something, and it smells great. By the way, it reminds me of like the moccasin smells when you when you go to like the native stores and you buy those funny shoes. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Freehand sharpening. Give it a try sometime if you never have. Thanks for watching.